14th.
The buildings are condemned. Right. As of today, they're all condemned.
After the hurricane, hundreds of people are ordered out of their dangerous homes. Many say they won't go. America's biggest corporate employer feeling the aftershocks of the biggest shakeup in corporate history. And hopeful news for victims of heart disease, a new treatment that could save their lives. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, I'm Connie Chung, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. Officials in South Florida are facing a new problem tonight in the wake of Hurricane Andrew. Even though tent cities are finally up, residents are refusing to leave their wrecked and dangerous homes. They're afraid looters will steal what little they have left. Scott Pelley has more.
We got to get these people out of these buildings.
You need to be out of here. This place is not safe for you or the kids, especially the kids.
We're condemning these buildings. You have to get out of them today.
Hundreds of victims of Hurricane Andrew were ordered out of their homes today as officials began condemning some of the 85,000 buildings torn apart in the disaster. It is estimated now that 250,000 are homeless.
What are the dangers here? Somebody lives here. What are they up against?
Structural collapse. As you can see, they're just falling down. This one's blown out, ready to fall over.
I stepped on 2 big nails, and I hurt my feet.
Long after the storm, the injuries continue. Dozens of people are hurt daily living in the debris.
This piece here that you're standing under, I mean, that could drop any minute.
Wanda Bogue was one of those told to clear out.
It's an utterly helpless feeling, and you find yourself talking and going on about things that aren't even connected with it because you're about to lose it.
The poorest residents are hardest hit.
Don't walk. Don't run.
Families who lost their subsidized housing lined up to get vouchers for new apartments. But any new home will be far away.
Maybe in Sarasota, maybe in West Palm Beach, maybe in Orlando, because Dade County is not going to be able to absorb all of these people.
We have tents right here in Harris Field, 3 meals a day from the Army.
What about the stuff that you got in your apartments? They're going to condemn that along with the building?
Please, I'm pleading with you. Please go over to Tent City.
We gonna stay in the tents and tell us how it's gonna be.
Only a block from that crowd, the Marine Corps Tent City remained virtually empty. This evening, hundreds of residents are trying to stay in their demolished homes. Much of this apartment complex is still occupied, but city officials say they will use federal troops to clear the most damaged buildings in the hope that there are no more casualties from Hurricane Andrew. Connie?
Scott Pelley, thank you. Live in Homestead, Florida. President Bush made an appeal last night for help for victims of the hurricane. His televised address generated 53,000 phone calls to a Red Cross 800 number. Donations totaling about $4 million so far. Another agency that's supposed to spring into action after a disaster is FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. But as Jim Stewart reports, critics charge that when it comes to emergencies, FEMA's response is a disaster.
With the Federal Emergency Management Agency under a barrage of criticism for its handling of the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew, a Senate chairwoman involved in the oversight of the agency said today she will call for a top-to-bottom investigation by the General Accounting Office.
I put the blame, first of all, on presidential leadership. Somebody who did not pay attention to the Federal Emergency Management Agency has loaded it with political hacks.
Congressional records show that while at most federal agencies there is only one political appointee for every 3,000 government agencies, at FEMA there's one for every 300. Critics place the blame on President Bush, who left FEMA without a boss for nearly a year before naming this man, Wallace Stickney, a close associate of John Sununu. Sources say FEMA was stockpiled with Bush loyalists with little emergency management experience after it angered Chief of Staff Sununu. Sununu felt FEMA acted too slowly in acting on safety inspections at the Seabrook nuclear facility in his home state of New Hampshire. Mr. Sununu declined to talk with CBS, but today FEMA's executive staff defended their agency.
If there's any morale problem here at all, it's because people are taking unfair shots at them, calling them untrained, calling them bureaucrats, and that is oats and wheat that has already been processed through the bull.
For FEMA's 2,500 non-political employees, the scrutiny and criticism have been devastating to morale, and especially at a time when most are working 15 to 18-hour days.
It's frustrating because we're doing an awful lot of good things and it's not necessarily understood.
The GAO investigation is expected to build on a House report earlier this summer, which concluded FEMA was weakly managed, calling it a turkey farm. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
A major earthquake off the coast of Nicaragua last night triggered tidal waves that caused widespread destruction, killing 52 people. 3,000 are missing. Residents who survived said they were caught by surprise. The quake pushed a wall of water 30 feet high, sweeping over Nicaragua and sucking people and buildings back out to sea. In this country, there is trouble in the auto industry. A strike that began last week at one General Motors plant is now spreading throughout the company. Negotiations are continuing, but as James Sartori tells us, neither side is backing down.
The first shift at GM's Oklahoma City assembly plant today was the last shift, at least for a while. 5,000 workers here were laid off, victims caught in a showdown over union jobs.
There comes a time when people have to sacrifice for the future, like the old-timers did for us.
It began when a new GM management team eliminated 250 jobs in a tool and die shop at its Ohio parts plant, then farmed out the work to a lower-cost supplier. The union walked out, knowing its strike in Ohio would quickly shut down assembly plants which depend on those parts. So far, it's idled 7 plants and threatens 5 more, affecting production of Cadillacs and Chevy vans, even GM's hot-selling Saturn models. Settlement talks continue, but GM shows no sign of backing down. The company lost $7 billion last year and has a clear mandate to control costs. It's already announced plans to shut down 21 plants and eliminate 60,000 workers. Now it's scrutinizing even the smallest jobs.
If we need a new crank for a window, rather than go down to our engineers and say, design us a new crank for a window, they're going to go out and put it out to bid.
The strike technically affects only the Ohio local, but it stems from widespread frustration with GM, which the union claims mismanaged itself into lower sales. It's resulted in 30,000 union members out of work from a strike they didn't call.
It's not us, it's other companies keeping us from getting our parts. So it is frustrating to us. We want to work. We're here to work.
Still, the UAW stand is clear, risking plant closures to hang tough for union jobs and perhaps position itself for even rougher times when the GM contract comes up for renegotiation next year. James Hattori, CBS News, Dallas.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, is President Bush selling high-tech jets to win votes? And continuing questions from Bill Clinton's past haunt his political future.
V8 has vegetables in it.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Vegetables in it. I heard that. Here's why I drink it.
Because it's tasty.
I love vegetables.
You hate vegetables.
I like these. They kind of crush it all up, squish together, and you can actually taste the vegetables. You know, your tomatoes,
Spinach, celery,
carrots. It's got vegetables in it?
yes.
V8?
V8! You know, when I feel like a vegetable, I drink it.
It's zippy kind of thing, zippy thing.
Monday I soak my dentures. Tuesday I brush. Wednesday I soak.
Wait, all you need is denture cream. Why soak when denture cream gets dentures nearly twice as clean, with more than twice as much mint? All you need is denture cream.
Every day.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with FiberCon? Doctor-recommended FiberCon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
The leader of a UN weapons inspection team in Baghdad said today that Iraq's nuclear program stands now at 0. He said Allied air attacks during the war and UN dismantling efforts since then have made the program harmless. President Bush's campaign swing through South Dakota and Texas today was a lesson in the power of incumbency in an election year. At his first stop, the president gave farmers new help to sell their wheat overseas, even though his budget deficit advisors recommended against it. At his second stop, Mr. Bush probably won some defense industry votes, as David Martin reports.
George Bush flew into the must-win state of Texas today and did what only a president can. Announce his approval of a $5 billion sale of F-16 jets to Taiwan. The deal reverses the administration's long-standing refusal to sell high-tech weaponry to Taiwan and will outrage mainland China. But to the nearly 6,000 Texas workers whose jobs were at stake, it's good politics.
I think it's probably a political move. Mm-hmm.
Does that bother you? You have a problem with that?
No, as long as we get business, I don't care what he does.
It's not just the votes of the people who are going to get the jobs or not lose their jobs because of these types of developments. It's also the publicity attendant to it, saying, you know, Michigan, I care, Illinois, I care, Ohio, I care, Texas, I care.
Good luck. Florida, I care. Even before it was wrecked by Hurricane Andrew, Homestead Air Force Base had been considered a prime candidate for closing, but not in this election year.
We are committed to rebuilding Homestead Air Force Base.
When decisions can be made one way or another, and one way will help the president with his re-election bid and the other will not, they're going to be made the one way and not the other.
Even when the decision is made for him by those so-called tax and spend Democrats in Congress, there's still no law against claiming credit for it. Take the $250 million the Defense Department did not want to spend to upgrade the M1 tank. With job security for 6,800 workers in Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania in the balance, Congress voted to make the Pentagon spend the money. Now the Bush administration is taking credit for something that was rammed down its throat.
Investment in national defense in this case translates into some good-paying jobs.
The best way to get away with making statements that totally contradict other positions that you've taken is to do it in an unabashed, unapologetic fashion.
Defense Secretary Cheney says the Pentagon is not a social welfare agency. Maybe so, but it sure is nice to have around when you're a president fighting an uphill battle for re-election. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Democratic nominee Bill Clinton faced new questions today about how he stayed out of the military draft during the Vietnam War. But as Richard Threlkeld reports, Clinton did not give any new answers.
Bill Clinton was on the campaign trail in Maryland today, haunted once again by the story that won't go away, what he did or did not do during the Vietnam War. The Los Angeles Times reports that in 1968, Clinton's late uncle lobbied his draft board to postpone Clinton's induction for almost a year, an unusual step then. Clinton has said repeatedly he never received any unusual or favorable treatment and denies ever knowing about his uncle's alleged efforts.
I can tell you this, I have told the truth about my draft status, and I have told you the only military option that I ever considered or that I was ever offered was the one I have reported to you. That's it.
But throughout this campaign, Clinton's answers to this question have often been incomplete and inconsistent, as last week at the American Legion convention.
You know that I oppose the war in Vietnam. But I want you to know this. I was never against the heroic men who served in that war. I honored their service then, and I honor it still.
What Clinton did not mention was what he'd written in 1969 to the colonel who'd accepted him in a university ROTC unit, thanking him for, quote, saving me from the draft, that he found himself, quote, loving my country but loathing the military, and that he'd accepted the draft, quote, for one reason, to maintain my political viability. Republicans wasted no time exploiting what they regard as Clinton's credibility gap. Even Vice President Quayle, whose own service in the National Guard instead of in Vietnam, was questioned 4 years ago.
Bill Clinton does have a credibility problem. He is going to have to come clean to the American people. He's going to have to answer these questions.
And you yourself were in the National Guard.
Yeah. See, I answered all the questions. I answered the questions that the media put to me.
The polls show that most voters don't think the draft issue disqualifies Bill Clinton from being president, right now anyway. But the Republicans have only just begun to try to make something of it, Connie.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, new help for the victims of heart disease.
Before we ship a new Buick LeSabre, it must meet an international standard of excellence. If it fails to meet a single electrical check, if the aim of a headlight isn't true, if the seams are not measured to the millimeter, we don't ship it. So if you buy a Buick LeSabre for its quality, you won't be missing the boat, even though it doesn't come by boat.
They're rambunctious, full of energy, and in constant motion. They're kids. Unfortunately, not all kids are like this.
That's why Kellogg's Rice Krispies, you know, the cereal that talks, has something really important to say. From now until September the 5th, every time you buy a box of Rice Krispies, Kellogg's will give $1 to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. That's right, $1 from Kellogg's every time you buy Rice Krispies.
Because someday we'd like to see Jerry's kids just be kids.
Every second of an asthma attack can feel like an eternity. That's why there's Primatene Mist. Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes fast when speed counts. Primatene Mist, fastest type asthma relief without a prescription.
After examining, testing, it's a fact. You can buy new Preparation H hydrocortisone cream with the maximum strength available without a prescription to relieve problem itch. New Preparation H hydrocortisone cream, prescription strength without a prescription.
That afternoon, they graduated. That night, they vanished without a trace. Have you seen them? An all-new 48 Hours tonight.
Researchers report some progress tonight in the fight against heart disease. It involves drugs that can be real lifesavers after a heart attack. CBS News health correspondent Edie Magnus has the story.
Bill Wolfson had a heart attack 5 years ago, a bad one. There was a 1 in 5 chance the resulting damage could have killed him within a year. Instead, at age 64...
I do everything normal. I'm not entering any marathons, but I live a normal life.
What made the difference is the drug Captopril, one of 2 so-called ACE inhibitors, which works by opening up blood vessels in the body and decreasing the workload on a weakened heart. A new study in the New England Journal of Medicine of more than 2,200 heart attack patients found that Captopril reduced their risk of dying by 19%, reduced their risk of developing severe heart failure by 37%, and reduced their risk of having another heart attack by 25%.
It doesn't make everyone do well, but it makes a substantial reduction.
Substantial indeed. Around 1 million Americans each year suffer heart attacks, and while more and more now survive that first traumatic event, many suffer the disabling effects of further deterioration as their hearts struggle harder to pump blood.
I got tremendously weak, but I couldn't take more than 5 steps without sitting down.
Congestive heart failure is now the nation's fastest growing cardiovascular disorder and can kill half of its victims within 5 years.
We've learned that earlier use of ACE inhibitors can prevent the onset of heart failure.
Still unclear is just when heart attack patients should consider starting on ACE inhibitors, but experts say the new research indicates it should be sooner rather than later, as there's mounting evidence these drugs are effective as a first line of defense against further damage. Edie Magnus, CBS News, New York.
It's time to review your insurance needs with MetLife. Get Met. It pays.
Over here, Miss Lansbury?
Yes, please. Wow. If I lifted that, I'd need extra strength buffering for the aches and pains.
It's strong, huh?
Oh, yes. Strongest dosage of aspirin you can buy.
You really believe in buffering?
I certainly do.
Shouldn't you discover the strength of buffering?
It's the weekend, and the Honda automobile plant in Marysville, Ohio is closed. Everybody's gone home. Well, almost everybody. So this is a good time to show you around. 10,000 Americans build 3 out of every 5 Hondas sold in America right here in Ohio. Did you know that? Well, we won't take up any more of your time. After all, it is the weekend.
I was really downing those tablets. Come on, they're not candy. I started to think there was something really wrong with my stomach. I was relieved when my doctor told me to try a new antacid tablet.
Introducing Mylanta tablets, shown to neutralize more stomach acid than the leading tablet.
Unbelievable.
New Mylanta tablets.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Hurricane Andrew ruined all they had and stole the future they had planned. The president asked America to help. How soon can it happen? Join us tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
From time to time in the presidential campaign, we bring you excerpts from the standard speeches of the candidates. It's to let you hear their stance on the issues unfiltered, in their own words. Last night you heard from Bill Clinton. Tonight, some of what President Bush has been saying in his stump speeches.
They say this election is about change. Well, they're right, but let's not forget the things that must guide change are the things that never change. Our belief in a strong defense, in strong families, and in leaving the world a better and more prosperous place for the young kids here today. That's what this election is about.
And my opponent, we all agree, seems to like to compare himself to Elvis Presley. Well, my apologies to the king, but to me, Governor of Arkansas's plan really does sound like Elvis economics, because the time he is finished, American workers will all be checking in to the Heartbreak Hotel. And I think we ought to treat those Clinton-Gore ideas the way Elvis would. Return to sender. Return him to Arkansas. The federal deficit is threatening the very future of these children here today, these young ones, so I am fighting for a line item veto, a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. And you know who says no to all this? The gridlock Congress. The Clinton-Gore gridlock Congress.
Congress, look at the post office, look at the bank. They have become corrupt, conceited, confused, a body of these PACs, perks, privileges, partisanship, and paralysis. We must change the Congress with which Bill Clinton is interlocked.
I happen to believe that just as we fix our economy and improve our schools, we've got to strengthen our moral foundation. And if I could make one political comment, I was struck by the fact that the other party took words to put together their platform, but left out three simple letters, G-O-D. For 9 months, the governor of Arkansas has been distorting my record, and I don't care what the polls say, I'm going to take this case to the American people like Truman did. Go against the Congress, go against the opponent, say what I'm for, and God bless the United States of America. We are going to win this race.
President Bush on the stump. Coming up next, Eye on America. Tonight, the South Florida workers whose jobs may be gone forever.
Draw from the facts. There's a way to maintain regularity without drugs. It starts here. A high-fiber diet, which can include Kellogg's All Bran, may give you the fiber you need for drug-free regularity. See the recipe on the box for another way to enjoy Kellogg's All Bran. All Bran muffins. All that fiber, all that great taste.
Winn-Dixie discounts greeting cards 40% every day. This $3 card cost me $1.80, and that's good because I buy cards for everyone. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, Dad. Happy birthday to the world's greatest boss. Well, I just found out that Winn-Dixie discounts all magazines 10% every day. Like this $1.99 people cost me only $1.79, so I can read about anything I want. Politics, Hollywood, people from outer space. Wow, Elvis found gardening in Trailer Park.
It may surprise you to learn who, over 30 years ago, was the first car maker to build cars with seat belts, to make safety glass standard, the first U.S. car maker to offer anti-lock brakes, and who today offers more models with dual airbags than any other manufacturer. That company is Ford Motor Company.
We're committed to making safety innovation an important part of quality.
Ford Motor Company. Quality is job one. It's working. It's working.
It's a comfort to know more people have taken Sominex over the past 30 years than any other sleep aid. Safe, simple Sominex.
What if you could get the fiber you need for regularity in a crisp, delicious wafer? Well, now you can. Metamucil wafers. All the effectiveness of Metamucil and it tastes like a cookie. Metamucil wafers.
All this week, Eye on America is focusing on the victims of Hurricane Andrew. Not only did people lose their homes, many also lost their means of making a living. Tonight, Frank Courier on the people Hurricane Andrew put out of business.
The sun still shines on South Florida's coastal waterways, but there may be rough sailing ahead for many in the state's huge and struggling marine industry. On Homestead's Main Street, turned upside down by Andrew, Smitty's Boat Top and Marine is among 90% of small businesses in ruins.
This is like 7 years of work that has been taken away from us in 7 hours.
Before the storm, it was a growing mom-and-pop canvas top and seat cushion company. 30 employees, $1 million in business last year. Today, it's a mom-and-pop disaster area.
Our only link with the outside world. Cellular phones.
Okay, thank you.
Owners Robin and Bill Crowley waste no words with their insurance man.
These are all our patterns over here that are soaking wet. Some of them we had to throw out, and this is thousands and thousands of dollars right here.
I have to get these people back to work as quickly as possible, or I lose the whole business.
Crowley, a former undercover Dade County cop, worries about his people who lost more than a paycheck to the eye of a storm.
My living room, my dining room, my kitchen, the hall, everything.
Minerva Cruz and her 3 daughters have nothing but each other. The hurricane blew the roof off, destroying their house.
When do you think you'll go back to work?
That I don't know. I don't have no paycheck. From now, I don't know when.
Employees have been coming here. There's about 30 employees that we have been coming here looking at us saying, help, what do we do?
This was a small business run like a family. When the hurricane robbed everyone of a job, employees voted to stay and rebuild, while Bill and Robin tapped their own personal bank account to pay workers part of a week's wages.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you lost your house, right?
At Smitty's this week, it's payback time for years of loyalty.
I got some food for you. I brought some milk for you and some cereal and some more canned goods and some pork and stuff.
Employee Shirley Shoaib and her husband Larry had just settled into this, their first house. Now they've resettled in the garage.
Bill and Robin both have said, you know, don't worry about your job. You have a job, you know, just as soon as we can get things going.
With only enough insurance to cover half the loss, the Crowleys are counting on the trust and patience of workers like Red Frank.
I'm a boat builder, and I could always go somewhere else and build boats, but hey, look at this. I mean, they took a big blow, and I took a big blow, and hey, we'll stick together and we'll try to make it work.
While economists predict a net loss of 10,000 jobs in Dade County next year, spirits here at Smitty's are as bright as the hope that one family business will survive.
I don't think this storm's going to stop it. It may have knocked the hell out of it, but it ain't going to put us down.
In Homestead, Frank Courier for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Coming up on this CBS station, a very special 48 hours about the mysterious disappearance of 3 women and a town's obsession with finding them. Join Dan Rather tonight at 10, 9 Central Time. I'm Connie Chung. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us, and for all of us at CBS News, good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.